Feels like I'm always filming these intros at like the worst time, but it's winter and I live in Canada, so I'm so sorry for the lighting. As usual, I'm trying to figure it out. I will figure it out eventually, okay? It's not actually nighttime. It is 6:21, so it's evening. See how dark it is? See how dark it is? Ridiculous. So, welcome to the start of another reading book. But I don't want to keep you guys too long. The goal for this one is to read Deathless by Catherine M. Valente. I did start this on my Kobo and then I realized I liked it so much. I loved what I was reading, and I decided I needed physical copies, so I trekked all the way to an indie bookshop and I got this, and I paid with cash, so I technically got it for free, and I got a War of the Rohirrim sticker pack thingy, whatever. So, win-win situation. I got a book, and okay, ready for this? Ready for this? It was a win-win-win situation. I got a book for free because I paid with cash, okay? I supported an indie bookstore, and I got a free sticker pack. And it was like 5 packs of like the same stickers, and it was free. We're doing good. So this is basically a retelling of Kashey the Deathless, the death of Kashey the Deathless, or Maria Morevna. And this is set in St. Petersburg during like the 20th century and everything. And admittedly, I don't know a lot about because yeah, I have no excuse. I don't. Frankly, Russian history, when it comes to like 20th century, like the world wars, A, not in my noggin because we didn't learn it properly, and B, it's so complicated because the moment you start telling me what like was written about communism, like the Communist Manifesto, I tap out. I still don't understand, but I tap out. Either way, moving on. I'm really excited for this. This is a retelling, as I said, of Kashey the Deathless, which is a Russian fairy tale. Basically, this guy, this villain, the big bad guy, he's deathless. He's deathless, but basically the way to kill him is to find a needle, which is, I believe, in an egg, which is, I believe, in a bunny, or something like that. Like, it's just like it's like a matryoshka, you know? You know, the little dolls where you pull out and there's a smaller one? It's sort of that kind of aspect. And basically I have to find this needle and break it, and that's basically how you kill Kashey the Deathless. And Maria Morevna is the person in the story in the original story, who traps Kashey the first time around, and then her husband, after she told him not to go down into like the room or the dungeon or whatever, he finds the dungeon, he goes into the room, and he gives Kashey water. And because of that water, he becomes strong enough to break the chains, and then he steals Maria Morevna. You guys see what I'm getting here? The reason we have all these villains is because of... Anyways, so I'm really excited for this. This is the vague TBR. I don't think I'm gonna... I did set like a 6-book goal for myself in January, but that's not gonna happen. I do low-key want to try Assassin's Apprentice again, just to like sit and read through it, but I don't think so. This is the book I'm taking with me tomorrow to work, so I do try to have like a physical book with me, and knowing which branch I'm gonna be at, it's gonna be very quiet, unless people decide to come out on a Monday from 4:15 to 9:15. So this is the main goal. The other goal is Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. I do maybe want to try another classic, but I also don't want to try another classic. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I need a buffer in between, which is why this is a great option. So, Deathless, Assassin's Apprentice, I think that's sort of it. I don't really have anything I am vying for right now. If I do pick up Sword of Kaigen, I think I'm going to pick it up on my Kobo because the pages of the book are so white that I'm scared, and also it's a really pretty edition. I'm terrified to open the book. So yeah, I don't think I have anything else that I'm particularly jumping to read. Again, January is weird. I think that's it. I'd say that's it. So, welcome to the start of another vlog, and yeah, I will see you tomorrow. I'm not even outside yet, and I'm already break time. I don't even want to go outside. I really don't. Truly don't want to go outside. It's so cold. And no one's turning this way. I'm just gonna cross here. So my shirt was bugging me really terribly. Just let me go, asshole. Didn't even have your turning lights on. Anyways, my shirt was bugging me because I think like under the thread there was like either plastic or glue or something. So what I ended up doing was literally flipping the shirt inside out, and I put it on again. It doesn't matter because the threads go like through both sides, so the design is on both sides, but no, don't do this. So I ended up just flipping my shirt inside out, and it doesn't matter because I'm wearing a long sleeve anyway, so it's cool. It's fine. It's my hack. I go through the station. Go down one set of stairs, go up another set of stairs. Well, escalator stairs. So. Up the escalator we go. Okay. Oh my god, the Wi-Fi kept going out as I was trying to call the Uber, so it was like stuck on the previous trip, and then I had to delete Uber, re-download it, and the Wi-Fi kept going out. That was crazy. Also, it's snowing. It's snowing. Okay, this time we're gonna go down to B&B and then we're gonna hit Seekers that I have enough energy. Did you end up here? And I hope that it's open. I thought going down the ramp is more of a safety hazard. Downstairs is, but okay. Alas. Great time to be walking to the bookstore. Oh my god, my glasses keep fogging up. is. I made it to bookstore 1. Barely. I feel like I'm sweating like crazy. I made it. I made it. I made it. Diabolical. That was diabolical. The weather is diabolical. Cool. I don't know. I'm gonna regret not zipping up my jacket, but I don't want my stuff inside my bag to get wet. My bag's like half covered. But that's okay. Whew. Slipping. Turn the other way. They're coming right on me. My God.
Every day, skyrocketing housing costs, overcrowded classrooms,
Okay.
longer wait times for healthcare.
Okay, so I found the book I wanted, but it was like a small edition, and the font I think would have been too small.
And it just said, you will have an enjoyable experience.
So yeah. I think I'm just gonna go to Indigo to see their copies, and then we will see what can be done. Fortunately, BMV doesn't have the book that I want. We do have a bunch of the Austins though, so I know that's an option. But not the one that I want to choose. I didn't see anything. We made it to Union. To Bookstore and Tears. We made it to Union. Hello everyone, this is my little update. Apologies for the strange look. Anyways, I can't see myself, so I hope I'm not blocking the camera or anything, and I'm not weirdly angled because I'm using the back camera, because that's the only way you'll hear me on the very loud train. Because Android phones are stupid when it comes to Bluetooth mics, and I don't have wired headphones. I should probably get a pair. Anyways, I did some monetary damage at the bookstore. The monetary damage was made in cash, so it didn't even touch my bank account. And anyways, I got North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell. I finished Pride and Prejudice, as you would have seen in a vlog previous to this one. And I really, really loved it. It was my first book of the year, first Austen. I finally read it after being recommended and told to read it since I was like 15, 16 years old, because everyone's like, you're like Elizabeth Bennet. I'm like, yeah, okay. More like Jane, but all right. Thanks for the vibes. Thanks for the hype. So, what else did I want to say? I want to say something else. Oh, people are gonna come on. Anyways, I got the Moleskine book journal. I'll put a picture up. It's really cool. I really like the look of it. It has a really nice slipcase, so that's gonna be great.
I'll obviously do a review of the book journal versus like other book journals I have and how I track stuff. I think I'm gonna do an updated video on that. I'm not sure yet. Let me know if you want an updated video. Anyways, and then I got my sister a book, which was The Blizzard of the Blue Moon. And this is a very special book to me because it was the first book that I remember distinctly reading in English by myself. And it's the one that started my whole reading journey. So I owe it all. I owe it everything to Jack and Annie and Mary Pop I was born for making me a reader. And she's turning 7 this year in November, but I'm gonna give it to her before. And I learned to read when I was 7. So I figured this would be a good sort of commemoration. And somehow, I guess I manifested her into being, to be honest, because she loves unicorns and there's literally a unicorn on the cover. So, also Annie's blonde and my sister's blonde too. That's a crazy coincidence. And Jack has glasses, round ones, and Jack has brown hair.
Stand clear of the doors. Doors are not closing.
Coincidences tend to pile up. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, I manifested her all those years ago. Anyways, that's the update. I'm still reading Deathless. I'm still enjoying. I think I either hit the 50%. I don't think I've hit the 50% marker. I'm like 2 pages away from 50%, which is very exciting because I'm really liking it. Anyways, I don't want my phone to die before I get to my station because the damn fucking outlets aren't working properly and it pisses me off. Anyway, that's all. Peace out.
Good morning. I'm up before the sun is. Picked up a 9 to 2, which I'm coming to regret, but that's okay. But yeah, this is the fit. It's very cozy. I don't feel like wearing anything fancy. Got the Uber. And then see you. I haven't finished Deathless, but I'm hoping to today, last day of January. Can I get in 2 books? Hopefully. It's really weird to have finished so early. Usually I work at like 12 to 5, so are the later shifts. But it's like a 9 to 2, and it's like 2:40, and it's weird that I finished so early. Usually for 12 to 5, I've just come back from like a break or something. It's weird. I don't know if I like it. It's weird. Yeah, it's weird. Hello. I come to you on Friday, January 31st, with a major update that I finished this book. I thought this vlog was gonna be long. When did I even start this? Did I start this on like Monday? I feel like I started this on Monday. I don't remember. I'll have to double check. But I thought that this vlog was gonna go for on No, I started it when I finished Pride and Prejudice. Hold on a second. Gotta pull up the receipts, okay? So I finished Pride and Prejudice. Yeah. Okay, Saturday, Sunday. So it's been like almost a week and I finished this. This actually didn't take me the whole week to read because at one point I read quite a few pages. I read a lot of pages. So for context, I use a Muji planner to track like my daily reading, and I'm also planning on doing like reels when I decide I have the energy for it, of like what I read in a week. And sometimes I read 0 pages, sometimes I read 100 and something pages. I read a lot. So I finished Pride and Prejudice on Saturday, the 25th, okay? I had 91 pages left and I was determined to finish it. Maybe I finished it on the Sunday, I don't care. It's written as a Saturday, I finished it on the Saturday. I started Deathless again on Sunday, and I read, is that a 7 or a 9? I feel like that's a 7. I read 17 pages. Which, okay, cool. And just to reiterate, I started it again. I started it from the beginning. From the beginning. Did I? Yeah, I think. Did I start from the beginning? Or maybe I didn't start from the beginning. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think I started it from the beginning. It's actually, no! It says 17. And 77 and then 252, and then it took me 4 days to read the book, which is pretty average actually. It's pretty solid. For a 350, oh my god, 349 page book, that's solid, right? So, and keep in mind, there's one day that I read 0 pages. Anyways, moving on. I thought this vlog was gonna go on for longer because I have a habit of making really, really long vlogs and then regretting it. Now that the vlog isn't particularly long, I'm just like, where do I go from there? Anyways, let's get on with this small review. I'll have like a full-length review as I usually do, as I did last year for like books. I also have to catch up with that, but that's a whole other problem. But basically, I really enjoyed this. This was 5 out of 5 stars. I think it was such an interesting exploration of the time period that it focuses on, as well as having the folkloric elements bleed into the real world in a sense, because there is, or like having the real world, having the folkloric elements bleed into the real world, as well as having the real world bleed into the folkloric elements. So spoiler alert, if you haven't read the book, skip this part. Editing Mila will do her magic. But basically, there's a point in the book where Cachet takes away Maria Morevna from, like, I think at that point it's like Leningrad or something like that. I've forgotten the names. Anyway, so they're still in St. Petersburg. That's the main setting, right? That's where, you know, she grows up and everything. That's where Cachet comes to find her and stuff. And that's like sort of like the, I don't want to say it's almost a character in itself, but it's sort of like almost a character in itself, which is really interesting. And basically, Cachet takes away Maria Morevna and he puts her in this sort of, I want to say, alternate timeline, in a sense. They're like inside an egg, which is like a bubble in a sense. It's meant to represent this bubble utopia village called, like, was it Yacha, I think. Yaechka. Oh my god, I just read, okay, Yaechka is like an egg. Because I was reading it Yaechka. I was like, why, what does that mean? And it's Yaechka. Oh my god, how did I not see that? Anyways, so they're inside this egg and it's sort of like a bubble, right? It serves as a bubble, so they're blocked off from the real world. And in this bubble world, you have characters that are representative of real people in Russian history during this time. So you have a version of like Tsar Nikolai and his wife, and then you have all these other political characters, specifically the politicians too. And you have, I think it was supposed to be like a stand-in for Rasputin or something like that. And it was really interesting, and I really like that. And the folkloric elements, oh my god, I can't, you guys, I can't stop thinking about this book. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me just, okay, let me just read you the first sentence of the first chapter, okay? I don't know what it is about the sentence. I love the sentence so much because, again, as I said, it sets up the city of what is now St. Petersburg as sort of a main character in itself, on its own. And it's not a main character, as a character on its own. Sort of like, the only thing I can think of is Far From the Madding Crowd by Thomas Hardy, which I read in like grade 11. So I don't remember much, but I think the setting, like the setting, the field, was a very, very particular part of the narrative, right? It was part of the narrative. And I feel like St. Petersburg is also part of the narrative here. And I love that. I just love that. I need to text one of my coworkers about this because she's gonna love this. She's gonna be obsessed with it. Anyways, this is the first sentence. And if this doesn't convince you, I don't know what will. In a city by the sea, which was once called St. Petersburg, then Petrograd, then Leningrad, then much later St. Petersburg again, there stood a long, thin house on a long, thin street. Does that not convince you? I don't know what will convince you. I don't know what will convince you besides this awesome cover. Okay? Can we just... What a cover. What a cover. You know, and it has the car and just... Oh, what a cover. What a cover. And the birds. Wow, the symbolism, crazy. Symbolism goes crazy. What else? There's so many, I swear to God, I like underlined just a bunch of stuff. One thing that I noticed at the beginning when, you know, the husbands come for Maria's sisters is that it sort of shows, the husbands show the progression of like before and like during and like sort of after the Russian Revolution. So the first husband comes for her big sister Olga, right? And he says, I'm Lieutenant Grach of the Tsar's personal guard. So this is when you still have the royal family, right? And then the second husband comes for her older sister Tatiana. He says, I am Lieutenant Zuyok of the White Guard. Although I don't know if that, I feel like those are bird names. I don't know enough about birds, but anyways. I've been talking for too long, but this is such a good book. Anyways. And then the third one for Anna, who's the third sister, I'm Lieutenant Zulan of the Red Army. So that's Soviet Union. And I just thought that was really interesting. I don't remember if I underlined anything else. I feel like I did, but I don't remember where. I have to go through this again, to be honest, and just underline a bunch of stuff. Because also I love the Domovoy Komitet. I thought that was so funny. And just the little Domovoys have like different names, and their names are based on like household appliances. So there's Zvanok, which is a bell. That's what it's called. A bell is a Zvanok. I'm doing this, but and then you have Chaynik, which is like a teapot or like a kettle, like it's interchangeable. And then Venik, which is a broom. And then you have Venik. That's it. I don't know. I don't think all of them. Chaynik. Yeah, I think that's it. Banya is like a banya. It's like a sauna in a sense. Banya. Chaynik. Venik. Banya. That's it. I think. That's all the ones that are named. So, oh, I really like this part because they mention Cachet, and Maria is really young, and Zvanok tells her, Maria Morena, don't you know anything? Girls must be very, very careful to care only for ribbons and magazines and wedding rings. They must sweep their hearts clean of anything but kisses and theater and dancing. They must never read Pushkin. They must never say clever things. They must never have sly eyes or wear their hair loose, wander around barefoot, or they will draw his attention. So they're sort of like that. Oh, Cachet's gonna come. Cachet's gonna come. And I don't know. I really like that. I don't know if I necessarily loved the romance because obviously it wasn't particularly healthy, but it wasn't, I don't know how I feel about the romance. That's all I'm gonna say. I enjoyed the story. Did I enjoy the romance aspect necessarily? No. Yeah. 5 out of 5 stars regardless. I think I went on an absolutely unnecessary tangent. I love this. This was such a clever retelling, something about folklore set in like a historical period, and you can see it through certain things. Like what? Like even the Dama boys are like, they formed a committee and like they call each other comrade. Like how is that not? I love that. I love that. I love that. I really do. Along the way, there are Stalinist house elves, magical quests, secrecy and bureaucracy, and games of lust and power. I love this. I love this. I thought there's a sort of, I don't know if this is a thing in Russian folklore because I haven't really heard of it, but obviously you have like the tsars, right? So the male rulers, and then the tsaritsas, so the female rulers. And if anyone is wondering why I sound a little bit weird when I say Russian words, is because I revert back to Russian. I cannot say Russian words in English, so when I'm saying it, it's how I would say it in Russian. But so there's this story that one of the character tells the main character, Maria Morena, and same with the name Maria Morena. I can't say it in English, but anyways, there's this character called the Licha, who's like the spirit of like bad luck. She's like an evil spirit, not a good person, not a good spirit that you want to invoke. But there's a whole thing. And she basically starts giving Maria Morena these lessons. And it's always Maria Morena. It's never really like when you're referring to her by her full name, it's always Maria Morena. It's never just Maria, or like some call her Masha and Marusha and stuff, which is typical nicknames for the name Maria or Maria, but it's always Maria Morena. Anyway, so she starts teaching Maria Morena these sort of fairy tale aspects, these folklore aspects. And there's a story about like the tsaritsas, the tsar and the tsaritsa. So there's the tsar of life, the tsar of death, the tsaritsa of salt, the tsar of like birds, and just like a bunch of other tsars and tsaritsas, and I thought that was so interesting. And tsar of birds, it's also like the alkanost, which is a mythical bird in Russian folklore. I don't know if it is a thing in Slavic folklore because sometimes it overlaps, sometimes it doesn't. So I don't know. But yeah, so the alkanost is the tsar of birds, and then Cachet, despite him being deathless, is actually the tsar of life. And his brother V, imagine that's how you say it, is the tsar of death, which is an interesting switch because you're like, why is Cachet the tsar of life? Because he's deathless. Because like, you know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm explaining this right. I will have a video about this with my usual format where I sort of go into the book and then I go into my thoughts and then I give you who I would recommend this for. So I know this is a bit of a ramble. I think I will end this video here. I don't know what I'm gonna read next. I have a sort of like vague TBR, but frankly, I need to read the book club picks. I need to read the book club picks because I did not read the book club picks. You know how hard it is? It's so difficult to find the 2 book club picks that I picked. I don't know why I decided to pick those. They just seemed interesting. But maybe in February I'll do like I'm not good with TBRs. I can't do TBRs. If I say I'm gonna read this and it's beyond one book, I can't do it. That's why barely talked about this. I didn't really tell anyone. Like, I was very vague with this, you know? That's why I was even more vague with Pride and Prejudice. Because I didn't want anyone to knock me off my game, you know? I didn't want anyone to knock me off my game. Oh, I should probably show you guys what I got recently. What am I doing? I got a book. Oh, I'm gonna sit down for this. Okay. I got a book. Surprise, surprise. And it comes highly recommended from one of my best friends. And I have no regrets, although it was kind of pricey, and prices are ridiculous here. Anyways, I'm not going to show the book. I'm going to show this beautiful Moleskine. You can't even see it, but this is book journal, and this is a Moleskine book journal. This is like a reading journal. So it's actually has like the letters, and you alphabetize it. Did I say that right? By title of the book. So not by author, by title of the book. My main concern with this kind of format is, what if I read books that like all start with the same letter and I run out of pages? Like, what am I gonna do with that? I wish they added like a couple of extra pages, because they don't even add, I don't think they add like extra pages. I mean, I guess could consider Z the extra pages. Like, I'll take 3 pages for Z, and then do the rest like vaguely, you know, and just put it in the index. It has an index that I don't have to do. Look at this. I already filled it out. I filled it out with the books that I've read so far, as well as the books that I read last year, which could contribute to the fact that I might run out of pages prematurely, considering that I think I put most of the books that I read in my previous reading journal. But I'm really excited to use this, and if anything, I'll buy a new one. What the hell, right? But if you want purely book review pages, and like nothing else, get a Moleskine book journal. I like it. It's pretty compact. The color is pretty. I wish they did have different colors, and I wished the letters, the titles, the lettering was a bit more raised. But if you just need like a book review page and that's it, then knock yourself out, to be honest. The only thing is, again, you can't really put them in, like, you can put them in alphabetical order, obviously, but you can't put them in alphabetical order within the letters, because you never know where the letters will go, right? So you can kind of choose where you want to put what. There is also like a my favorite covers page, but I don't have a color printer or nice paper to do anything with that. So I'm just going to leave it. I don't really need it. I'm here for the review pages and review pages only. I think maybe 6 months in, I will, which is June, that's crazy. I might do an update as to how I'm faring with this. I'm not going to do a bullet journal, I don't think. I think I will give that up very, very early, because I'm just not. I'm too lazy for that kind of stuff, honestly. I just want it pre-made. That's it. I want it pre-made. And obviously the other thing that I'm using is the Muji 2025. So I'm keeping them very simple this year. Anyways, so the Muji isn't new. I got it like in December. So the book that I got, which I probably should have talked about first because I went off the rails, is North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell. After I finished Pride and Prejudice, or as I was reading Pride and Prejudice, and then I went to the bookstore to buy a copy, and I was debating, and I was talking with my friend Helen. Shout out Helen. Hello, you know who you are. She recommended North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell, and she loves Pride and Prejudice, and she likes this one as well. And I was like, I've heard of this. Why does this sound familiar? It's basically Pride and Prejudice 2.0. Now, I'm not saying that to throw shade at Elizabeth Gaskell. I'm not saying that to diminish Elizabeth Gaskell's influence on society, on the writer's world, on the classics world, so to speak, on the world of classics. I'm just saying that a lot of people are pitching this as a later written Pride and Prejudice, because I believe she writes this, I think she writes this later than Pride and Prejudice. Okay, she wrote this in 1855, and Pride and Prejudice, I believe, came out in 1830. So again, later than Pride and Prejudice and probably has some influences from Pride and Prejudice because there's like a enemies to lovers situation. But in this case, we are very much focused on like industrialization of the North and sort of the conflicts that arise from the workers versus the owner of like the industry there, or the plant. Mill workers. Yeah, the mill. Okay. I'm so sorry for the noises in the background. My brother is playing on his VR headset and he makes strange noises because he's also talking with his friend. Anyway, I'm really excited for this. I don't know if I have the mental capacity at the moment to read a classic. Now the thing is, Pride and Prejudice is fairly accessible. It did still require quite a few brain cells, but I think it's fairly accessible as far as classics go, and I've read my fair share of classics. Albeit I've read them in school, but I've also read them outside of school. Like I read Picture of Dorian Gray, but then again, that's not really that big of a deal. That's not particularly hard for me. However, again, I don't know if I have the brain cells for this right now because when I read a classic, I can't focus on other things. Usually I'm juggling three books, okay? Like right now, I am basically going to be juggling 3 books. Anyways, I'm going to talk about my tentative TBR. I'm hesitant. I don't know if I'm going to be, if I actually want to say this, but I have it on a sticky note. So it's written down. My first thing on the TBR is Breath of the Dragon by Fonda Lee and Shannon Lee. And this is YA. This is fairly, as far as YA goes, it's fairly short, I'd say. And I'm excited because I love martial arts. And like I grew up on Jackie Chan, so very excited. Then we have Count of Monte Cristo. Now this is a chunker, so I feel like I need to delegate maybe time at the end so that I don't feel fatigued, so to speak. And Breath of the Dragon as well as Count of Monte Cristo are February picks. Do I sort of regret this? Perhaps. Am I gonna go through with it? Yes. I do have Sargassa as well as Blood of the Levant, which are the January picks, moving over, and I need to read those. I'm gonna get through all the books. I'm gonna try to get through all the books. But yeah. Then we have This Traitor's Heart. Now, I have not seen anyone talk about this. This is set in France. Okay, this is set in France. And this follows the lady-in-waiting of, like, the princess. And then, there's, like, a enemy prince. And there's a love triangle. How the love triangle goes, I'm not gonna tell you. Because you need to figure it out for yourself. You need to see for yourself. But the first line is what really intrigued me. Because when I read this, I was like, is this a Pride and Prejudice retelling? Because I'm going to tell you the first line, guys. Y'all are going to be shocked and gagged. Bamboozled. Bamboozled. I'm going to tell you. Bamboozled. It is a truth universally acknowledged that a gentleman creeping about a ball uninvited is up to no good. What do you mean? Is this not, does that not, obviously it doesn't have the same sense, but, like, it doesn't, it's not saying the same thing as the first line in Pride and Prejudice is. I've never read a book that starts, that starts almost the exact same way as Pride and Prejudice, and it's not marketed. I have not seen it marketed as, being inspired by Pride and Prejudice anywhere, so I need to dig into this. I will come back to you on that. But yeah, I was so shocked. And it starts with a ball. Like, it's just, there's a ball. Hello? Also, I don't know if I like the cover. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. I don't know if I like the cover. Because it low-key looks like it should be fan art instead. And listen, the cover is pretty, but I feel like it's not the right cover, it's not the right thing to have as a cover. It's pretty, people are pretty, drawing's pretty as it gets on a black and white screen, but also there's an insane amount of ghosting. Holy cow. There we go. Okay, no ghosting. But this feels like it should have been fan art instead. Like a pre-order incentive of the 3. Anyways, that's that. And of course I have North and South, which I don't know if I can get 2 classics this month. Maybe I'll split, like, count between, like, the latter half of February and the first half of March, because when does it come out? I think it comes out later in March, because, no. Does it come out later in March? What's our March pick? I don't remember what the March pick is. I'm so disorganized. I'm so sorry. I've been talking for too long. I've been talking for nearly 30 minutes. This is gonna be a lot of shit to cut. And I'm gonna kick myself for this when I have to edit this vlog. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I hope you enjoyed the very brief vlog. I don't know what's going on with me. I apologize for the hair. It's a mess. I hope you enjoyed the vlog. I hope you enjoyed my brief thoughts. Videos will come sporadically, perhaps. Maybe they'll come on the regular. I don't know. I do plan on filming a bunch of stuff and then, like, taking pictures and all that stuff tomorrow. So maybe I'll start a new vlog tomorrow. Who the hell knows? I don't know. Either way, you'll probably see this next Friday because that's the plan. Hoping that Fridays will be like vlog days. But don't hold me to that because I will just not do that if you hold me to it. So it's like vaguely said, okay? I'm saying it vaguely. Okay, it's not set in stone. Anyways, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna transfer this long ass video to my USB stick because my phone is going to hate me for this. Is this crooked? Please tell me it hasn't been crooked this whole time. Oh my god. Because I'm sitting weirdly, so I can't really tell. Anyways, I'm gonna go. Again, I hope you enjoyed this vlog. If you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing. Like the video because then it boosts me up in the algorithm stuff. Follow me on all my socials. I post more on my Instagram. I will be active, like, insanely next week because I scheduled a bunch of stuff, but you're gonna see this on Friday, so this week I will be very and I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm so tired. I will see you in the next one. Happy reading.